Hi, I'm Roy Williams with Airframe Components, and today our topic of discussion is Cessna 200 series elevator trim tabs. The elevator trim tab that I am holding was found on Cessna 206, 207, and 210 aircraft. These elevator trim tabs have a foam core inside. This gives rigidity to the trim tab, but the problem with the foam is it retains moisture and causes corrosion and failure of fasteners over time. The foam on the interior of the trim tab will retain moisture, causing the corrosion to start from the inside, working its way out of the trim tab, resulting in pinholes in the surface of the trim tab. You can see where this has progressed from the inside out. You have holes visible in the upper surface of the trim tab. It may also cause corrosion of the fasteners on the trim tab, which will result in failure of the fasteners. You can see on this particular trim tab, the rivets have been replaced with screws. These rivets are critical to the trim tab in that they hold the actuator bracket to the trim tab. Corrosion on the fasteners for this trim tab actuator bracket would result in separation of the actuator bracket from the trim tab, resulting in uncommanded flutter of the trim tab and henceforth the elevator of the aircraft. Cessna has had several special airworthiness information bulletins issued against these particular trim tabs, specifically addressing this area of the actuator bracket. The original style of trim tab simply had rivets going through the upper surface of the trim tab all the way through to the lower surface of the trim tab, holding the actuator bracket to the trim tab itself. One information bulletin had you placing doubler brackets on both the upper surface of the trim tab and the lower surface of the trim tab in an effort to provide a solid mounting surface for the actuator bracket. Using a cutaway model here of a Cessna 200 series elevator trim tab, you can see how the original design had the foam core with an upper and lower surface skin in place. The best way to identify these particular style of trim tabs is to look for a line of rivets along the trailing edge of the trim tab. This shows that there's an upper skin and a lower skin riveted together, encapsulating the foam core. Cessna replaced the original foam core trailing edge trim tabs with a new style of trim tab. This new style of trim tab does not have a foam core. It is a one-piece skin folded at the trailing edge. It has a stiffening channel bonded midway in the trim tab.